So let's continue. Farewell, my turnabout. March 22nd, 9:47 a.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby Number 3. Adrian did it. That's what it looks like. Dude, no way! That woman couldn't do anything like that! In court today, there'll be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you. A mountain of evidence? I'm certain there's someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you. Please, Mr. Lawyer. Dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, alright? I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that. I understand. Edgeworth? Mia? Well, it's almost time. Mia. We must get a complete acquittal today. I know, but I can't focus on Maya's situation right now. Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day. Indeed. Well, let's get going. It's him. This is Wright. Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney. The day of the trial. Maya. She's unharmed, right? Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how shall we say, tired? Don't worry. People don't die that easily. Oh, sorry. People don't die that easily. Besides, what you should really be concentrating on is winning today's trial. For my sake, as well as yours, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning. Present? What in the world would you want to give me? You'll figure it out once the trial starts. And even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest, if you please. Wait! The kidnapper sent me a present? Mr. Lawyer dude? Who was that? No one. It has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything. Dude. Did your nose just get longer? March 22nd, 10 a.m. District Court. Courtroom number 3. Court is now in session for the trial of Matt on guard. Are the prosecution and defense ready? The defense is ready, Your Honor. I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma? I don't know either. I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me? Oh no. Don't tell me there's gonna be a flip in the script here. Is Edgeworth gonna cover for her? Your Honor. Please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. If you must tell me something, keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor Von Karma has... This morning... This was the present? No! This is the opposite of a present! Now Edgeworth is gonna fight against us! This was supposed to be a fair fight! I wasn't expecting him to be across from us so soon. This morning, Miss Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman. What? Shot? Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about. His present. Miss Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she were to disappear, it would be to your advantage. This is totally insane. Miss Von Karma, is she all right? I don't have that answer. She's alive. Wait, sorry. It takes me a while to get back into Edgeworths because he's in my really, really, really low register. She's alive. That didn't sound right. She's alive and in stable condition. Do I want to say it like that? I don't know. Also, apologies if there's a lot of repetition when I play this game. Sometimes I'll stumble over my words and sometimes I just won't like how I say a line initially. Or sometimes you have me doing this where I'm contemplating how to say a line. So yeah, sorry for that. She's alive and in stable condition. That's good. Phew. You're... I thought he'd show up. But why is he... Your Honor, due to the circumstances, Miss Franziska von Karma cannot appear in court today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. The prosecution is ready, naturally. Okay. Glad to see you in your rightful throne, King. Glad to have you back. Not like this, but you know. Miss Von Karma was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. Luckily, I've looked this case over and am familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt on guard. The court acknowledges the prosecution. Right. I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year. By the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. He doesn't look too happy though. Edgeworth is back, Gumshoe! Why the long face? Witness, your name and occupation. My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective. Down at the precinct for now. For now? Oh, he was with Franziska-in-law, wasn't he? He was there when she was shot. That's why he's down. After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir. Detective Gumshoe. The prosecution has no need for a depressed witness. Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes, sir! Now, let's have your testimony. What a good guy. Look at him being all buddy-buddy. If we want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that. Get ready, Phoenix. This is gonna be one very rough fight. Yeah, it would have to be Edgeworth as my opponent. But the answer he was struggling for. Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edgeworth. Witness testimony. Bare facts of the case. This murder happened after the Hero of Hero Awards, sir. The victim, Juan Carita, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. Why do you say that? After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room? Yes, sir. Both the victim and defendant went alone to their rooms, sir. I see. Not even any bodyguards? I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Cross-examination. All right, y'all know the drill. Let's press. We've got no whip to be scared of. Would you please give us a brief timeline of what happened after the ceremony? Okay, pal. The ceremony started at 6 p.m. It ended around 8 p.m. And then there was a short break. A special post-ceremony show was supposed to start in the lobby 30 minutes later. And that's when the victim's body was found, correct? Which is to say, the murder occurred during that 30-minute break period. Please, continue with your testimony, Detective. The person who discovered the victim's body was Adrian Andrews, correct? Yeah. Who is this Adrian Andrews you're talking about? She's the defendant, Madame Guard's manager. She's a really pretty lady, sir. Ah, so, she's a pretty lady. I wonder if she'll grace us with her presence. When the post-ceremony show was about to start, she went to get Mr. On Guard. After visiting his room, she next went to the victim's room to get him for the show, sir. I see. And that's when she found the victim's body. Why would she do that, though? I know they're associated because of the mentor, but she's basically doing a manager's job or the rival for Juan Carita. It's weird, right? The cause of death. Wasn't that because Mr. Carita was stabbed in the chest? Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal. Take a good, hard look at the crime photo. So it wasn't the stab like we were meant to believe. Now, a real pro's attention would be drawn here, to this bandana around his neck. Banana. His bandana, sir. That's the thing wrapped tightly around his neck, sir? Yes. I see. His banana-scented bandana. Judge, are you okay? Have you had breakfast? Then, what about the knife? It seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death. We have a crafty murderer on our hands here. Autopsy report added to the court record. Time of death, 8:15 p.m. Cause, strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. At first... Oh, sorry, we read this already. Tell me about that. And why did you think that? Because it was empty, pal. The Jammin' Ninja doesn't go anywhere with his... The Jammin' Ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. And we couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime. Oh. Then how about this theory? A fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that? Are you me right now? We thought of that too, but the only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims. Only the victims, huh? I see. So much for my theory then. Guitar case updated in the court record. Empty. There is some water, but only on the top of the lid. Bears Corita's fingerprints. Bears Corita's fingerprints? Get it? Because he loves bears? What convinced you it had nothing to do with the case? The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night. Well then, where is it? The bright red guitar was eventually found at the TV studio. The victim, Juan Corita, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir. So, you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case? Wouldn't there be a notable weight difference? Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar. So, that guitar case was empty, even before he got to the hotel. Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all. I believe that's enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Matt on guard? Because there was reason enough to suspect him. Here it comes. Looks like Edgeworth's back in full swing. He can't stay away from us, Phoenix. He loves the friends to rivals to lovers trope too much. Very well. Detective Gumshoe, please testify on this matter. Yes, sir. Witness testimony. Why arrest on guard? Man on Guard and Juan Corita were huge rivals with each other. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the Jammin' Ninja's button. It was ripped off of the ninja costume and was found in Mr. On Guard's hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder. Interesting. A gold knife? He bought a gold steak knife to stab his rival. That's so odd. But also, like, why gold specifically? Also, this completely throws off the theory that it was because they were all eating steaks. I mean, I didn't notice any gold silverware, did you guys? So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing. It was a sort of... Oh, wait. It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clean, sir. Knife added to the court record. Bears the victim's blood and on guard's fingerprints. In the grip, Gatewater is engraved. Wait a second. There were 2 plates in On Guard's room, but there was only silverware on 1 plate, wasn't there? And it was silver, not gold. So what if the Gatewater had like a little bias, right? And they gave Matt On Guard the gold silverware because he's a VIP that everyone loves and adores, unlike Juan Carita, unfortunately. But this belongs to the Gatewater. Why would he buy from the hotel? I mean, there's plenty of reasons why to buy from the hotel. Pillows, for what? but silverware? No. No, thank you. And there's this button. That was found in the defendant's clothes, was it? And is this button also covered in blood? Yes, and we know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir. What? Jammin' Ninja's button added to the court record. Was ripped from his costume. Is covered in Carita's blood. Found in On Guard's hakama. Now, I was gonna I'm just gonna say it. What if the button was ripped off during whatever they were doing on stage? And then it was only like planted after the fact in On Guard's clothes? Maybe? I mean, I don't know. All of this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it? Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, right? I'll find the hole in your argument somehow. Man, even Phoenix is all chummy right now. He's so happy to have Edgeworth back in his life, back in his courtroom. You can press as hard as you'd like. Just hurry up with your Just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. I liked it the first time. Just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. Cross-examination. Oh, we will press him, Edgeworth. We will. But in terms of popularity, Matt On Guard won, did he not? Yeah. But you know what's ironic, pal? Juan Carita was always one step behind Juan Carita was always one step behind Mr. On Guard in everything. This year, it seemed like he'd finally caught up, ready for the big final showdown. But Mr. Carita lost the Grand Prix in the end. That's too bad. He must have been pretty downhearted after losing. They each thought why am I reading it? Wait just 1 second here. Mr. On Guard was beating Mr. Kurita in the popularity polls. Well, yeah, I guess, but... Which means that in the defendant's eyes, the victim was not a rival at all. Which means he had no motive to kill, at all. Yes, I quite agree. Well, Detective? It's not... Well, I guess if you put it that way, then yeah, the defendant would have had no motive. Detective, I'm beginning to see why you were fired. Because he gets gaslit as easy as me? We stand a smooth brain around here. No, not you too, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. That's... I look forward to your pension negotiations. No! Now, Detective, let's continue with the testimony. No, not my poor pension too. Detective, if you value your money, I suggest you proceed. Yes, sir. We can talk about my pension later, sir. Right? What about what I was saying? Gosh. What about what I was saying? Hello? Anyone? Do you have any proof that the button belonged to the victim? What do you mean, pal? Let me put it this way. I'm asking you if you have any evidence to back up your claim that this button was ripped off of the Gem Ninja's costume. But can't you tell by just looking at it? And the victim's blood is on it. Anyone could have smeared that blood on there afterwards. Mr. Edgeworth, help me, sir. All right, I knew it had to be this piece of evidence. Now to reel this one in. Thread. Not even an objection? He's just gonna come out with facts? The button was attached to the costume by thread, obviously. And that thread snapped when the button was torn off. If you match up the ends of the thread on the costume with the thread on the button, it's a perfect match. It's a perfect match. Yeah! That's it! They're a perfect match, pal! That's Edgeworth for you. Never misses a beat. When was this button found? Pretty soon after the body was found. We rounded up everyone who knew Mr. Kurita. And then we did a search on them all. That's when we found the button. So it was almost immediately after the murder. The police didn't have the free time to lollygag and play tricks, unlike some people. Hey! What is he trying to say about me here? How are the fingerprints arranged on the knife? What do you mean, pal? By examining the fingerprints, you can determine how the defendant held the knife. For example, did he hold it normally or overhand? Oh! Is that what you meant? Well, we didn't actually think of that. I can't believe the bumbling of this department. Hopeless. Were you paying attention to the testimony, Wright? The defendant's fingerprints were all over the knife. There's no way to determine how the knife was held at the moment of the murder. So, is the defendant the owner of this knife then? There's no way this was a premeditated murder, even if he bought the knife. Sorry, pal. This isn't just some pocket knife. It doesn't fold, so it's not great for walking around with either. Well, this isn't good. If the prosecution can prove it was a premeditated murder, we're done for. Phoenix? Yes? There's something very interesting about what the detective said just now. Think carefully, before it's too late. A button covered in the victim's blood, and a knife with on-guard's fingerprints. Be grateful. If the judge were more rash, he would have already pounded his gavel in closing. We're still in a world of trouble. Well, before any battle, you must find your enemy's weakness. So let's find the weakness in this testimony, no matter how small it may be. Okay, Phoenix? Alright, let's save here. We were recommended to save like our life depended on it. So the knife. It says Gatewater is engraved in it though. So I want to present that, and I want to. I don't know what to do with the button actually, but I want to present the knife for sure. Also, if the button was found on the leg of his hakama, isn't that just such a weird position for his leg to be? Like, obviously, the button would have still had to be there on the suit while he's stabbed so that the blood can dribble down, right? Like, what was he doing? Putting his foot on his chest to pull the button out? That's ridiculous. There's no reason to do that. Doesn't make sense. Why did he rip it out? Oh, and on top of that, like, if he did rip out the button, it wouldn't have been stuck in his clothes, that's for sure. But where do I present that? Where do I present that, guys? Ripped off of the ninja costume was found. I mean, when they say that it was found in his hakama, could that also just mean it was in his, like, pocket or something? Did he pocket it away? Anyway, let's present the knife now. Please be something. Wait a second. What? So the basis of your argument that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand? That's right, pal. The defendant did not buy this knife. Take a good look at the handle of this knife, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It has a Gatewater seal set into the handle. Gatewater? I think I've heard that name somewhere before. That's the name of the hotel. The Gatewater Hotel. Murder! Mystery! The Gatewater Murder Mystery Hotel! Oh. The murder knife was actually property of the hotel, which means this murder was not premeditated. Yes, that is very true. This is a very big... What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sorry, but the defense is simply being too careless. What? I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined. How so? I admit, this knife is hotel property. There's no one currently on the police force that's dumb enough not to realize this. Way to pointedly say currently on the force. But I didn't know. The question is, where did this knife come from? Why, that's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Kurita's room. Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect. The victim ate a last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, there's gold silverware! I would like to draw the court's attention to what's on top of the table. There's a knife and a fork on the table. Then, where in the world did this knife come from? If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Matt on guard. Oh, okay, he also had gold silverware. It wasn't silver. Okay, never mind. Especially what was on top of his table. There is something missing. Perhaps it's a single knife. Well, yeah, there is a single knife missing. Are we really just going off memory from this? Like, is Edgeworth not presenting photos to the court? Because we could totally be gaslit here. We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Matt on guard's knife was missing. Mr. on guard had gone to the victim's room with the knife he had used during dinner. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was a premeditated murder. Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliantly clear deduction. It seems like Edgeworth had this planned from the very beginning. This must be one of those traps, and I just walked headlong into it. a murder weapon with fingerprints, and a button from the victim's costume. There's quite a sizable amount of evidence here. I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of time. Oh, sorry, is a waste of your Honor's time. Is a waste of your Honor's time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were to present evidence not yet shown to the court. Evidence not yet shown? He means evidence that the court hasn't seen yet. In other words, new evidence. Oh my god, he's still helping us here! What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright? Well, Phoenix, the judge is favoring the prosecution right now. If we answer with something wrong here, that gavel of his will be ringing out to sound our defeat. Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to this court? Actually, I do! What do we present? Because the only thing I can think of is Miss Inpax's profile, and I don't think that has any relevance yet. But it's also the only thing that Edgeworth presented to us. It's the only thing that Edgeworth gave to us that he would know that we had. So it could be. Let's save. It could have to do with Miss Inpax. We'll see. There's one piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something that this court has yet to see. Edgeworth didn't like that we only said one. Edgeworth doesn't like that. Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I am giving you one chance, and only one. What the judge is saying, right, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here. If I mess this up, it's curtains for all of us. You may now present one and only one piece of evidence. You guys, it's getting rid of all of our HP! Oh my god! That's crazy. Now then, what is this important evidence that you must show to court? Okay. It has to be the suicide report, right? Also, yes, I'm just gonna say suicide. I have combed through the TOS for both YouTube and Twitch, and as long as we're not promoting it, then it seems to be okay. So we're just gonna say it, okay? It's gonna be what it is. We're all adults here. Okay, now then. What is this? I mean, it can't be the knife and the button because those are very clearly already in court. And they very clearly stated they want something that hasn't been brought up. I mean, this is the only thing that Edgeworth has shared with us. But also, there's that wine glass that is super sussy. We haven't talked about that yet. So I wonder if I'm just like overthinking this. Because it obviously does not make sense to bring these up yet, right? I wonder if it has to do with the wine glass. There's also water on this lid, which is like, what? Did you spill water on it to clean evidence off of the case? But I'm tempted not to bring this up because the guitar case is already in evidence. So, the only other thing that was in that room is this wine glass. So, wine glass? This is a wine glass, is it not? Please look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. Oh, okay, so we did have a photo of the crime scene. Oh, it's this photo. The scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against his assailant. The vase was broken. His makeup is all over the floor. These were all things that were at one point sitting on top of the dresser. Well, yes, I see your point. However, this glass that's sitting on top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. The only thing that had not fallen over, along with everything else, is this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration. Yes! Please! Well, what do you all have to say? Oh, well, yes, it is a little peculiar. Yes, isn't it? I thought it was. You can stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now. Mr. Edgeworth? What is it, Your Honor? Your opinion. You don't need my opinion. Because there's no special meaning to that glass. What? It's safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place by the person who discovered the body. Adrian Andrews, for example. What? Why would she just casually place down a glass like that? Normally, someone opens a door, screams, drops everything in their hands. Like, no, that's BS. She could have easily been so shocked that she set the glass down without thinking. And she's not suspicious here? I think not. I think not. That does sound very plausible, Mr. Wright. No, it's not! It's not plausible at all, Judge! You simp! Could Miss Andrews really have set that glass down without thinking? No! I'm not buying into this theory. If I appear weak here, the trial's over. If I can look for my... stumbling, sorry. I can look for my proof later. For now, I should trust my instinct and point with certainty. They just might fall for it, if you're thought-provoking enough. The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory. We would like to see something that proves it was Miss Andrews who set the cup on the table. You've turned the situation on its head, yet again, as usual. Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim? There's no way he has any. He's just bluffing. Unlike Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I have the evidence to support it. What? Is he gonna say he found fingerprints on the wine glass as well? You're not thinking hard enough today, Wright. Did you think this wine glass escaped my notice? Then... Of course it has been thoroughly inspected for fingerprints. And you're not gonna share that info with me? Man, the prosecution sucks. Edgeworth, glad to have you back, buddy boy, but like, at least Francisca was forthright with her evidence. Fingerprints. All this withholding. There were only one set of fingerprints left on this wine glass. Only one? Well, whose were they? They weren't the victims, nor the defendants. Rather, they were of one Adrian Andrews. What? Wine glass updated in the court record. Found next to the victim. It's filled with tomato juice. Bears Andrews's fingerprints. That is why I said that the person who had discovered the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright? I can't believe I fell into another trap. Miss Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Kurita. But upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass down on the dresser. What you just said makes a lot of sense. Now, do you see, Wright? You can't change any part of my scenario, as it explains everything all too well. Damn it. I've thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor. And from here on out, I will show you the answer I've come to discover. Wait a second, Mr. Edgeworth. I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict. Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. The prosecution has yet another witness we would like the court to hear from. Another witness? Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness. What in the world is Mr. Edgeworth thinking? He just wants to bring his old buddy over here. The security guard. Miss Old that we're gonna save. He wants to bring up everyone who has a crush on him. He wants to knock him down all a peg. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. Wait. We gotta do that. She's in a helmet, for God's sake. Witness, your name and occupation, please. Why? Gotcha. I wonder what happened to that calm composure he had earlier. Oh, Edgy boy! It's been what? A year since we last met? Hasn't it? You should be more happy to see me. I saw the report with her testimony, but who knew that under that helmet, it was the Wicked Witch of the witness stand. I tell you, this time, I know what I'm supposed to do. So today, I'm gonna tell you anything and everything. Even things that don't have to do with that terrible crime. Like your horoscope and your birthday and... Miss Witness, that terrible crime is all this court needs to know. Oh, shush! I'm talking to my dear Edgy Wedgie right now. Don't interrupt us, Gramps. Yes, madam. No. Please, by all means, interrupt her. Please. Anyway, witness your testimony, please. It's true what they say, that youth are hot-headed nowadays. Not that I mind at all, Edgy. Now then, what should I start with? The witness was on security detail at the hotel on the night of the murder. Is this correct, Miss Oldbag? It was a great job, being able to see my dearie won. It was almost too much for my little heart to handle. You mean, you were a fan of the victim? Look, everyone is crazy over that on guard, saying he's cute in a fresh way or something. But not me. I wouldn't say something. Oh, I wouldn't say anything so silly. After all, I have no interest in a little child like him. I'm only interested in a real man, Juan Garita. But those two were the same age. Anyway, as I was saying, I was pacing in front of his room that night. Very well. Please tell the court what you witnessed the night of the murder. I'm surprised you didn't go on a whole-ass tangent there. Leave it to me, Edgy Poo. Oh, you're not gonna say anything silly here, huh? Witness testimony. What you witnessed. Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around in front of the hallway near his room. There was something I was interested in finding out. You know? Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming out of poor Juan's room. It was on guard. Not on guard! He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room. So, Mr. On Guard came out of the victim's room. See? It has to be him! He's the murderer! I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. I bet $1,000 that she saw someone in a costume. Again! Just like the Steel Samurai case. Cross-examination. And we're pressing. And we're saving. Miss Oldbag, what was your post on that night? The lobby. I was supposed to help set up the stage for that trifling show. But I refused to help, I'll have you know. It was for that lead-headed samurai show. I even took out a few of the nails. Maybe it was a good thing the show didn't go on. Saboteur! Besides, that manager with the glasses seemed to be working hard at it without me. So I thought I'd take a break and spread my wings a little. And that's when you went to hang around the victim's door? There was something I was interested in finding out, you know. No, we don't know! Something you were interested in? And just what was that? It's not some little thing I can just go around telling everyone you know. It's top secret. Between me and one. And Edgy Poo, of course. Mr. Edgeworth, what is this thing she was interested in? I have no idea. I despise gossip, Your Honor. Gossip? But should it prove relevant, we can always have it appended to her testimony later. It looks like we shouldn't force it right now. And did the witness stay in the vicinity of the victim's door the entire time? I still think that she has Lottie's camera. Oh, then would you tell us the number of people who went in and out of Mr. Kurita's room? I have no idea! I wasn't born so I could count things for those who didn't pay attention in class. That's why ever since I turned 20, I quit keeping track of how old I really am. Yes, well, that would explain why your age was not included in the report. In any case, the witness then saw someone, correct? Who in the world was that? I'm not allowed to say. This sort of information is to be carefully guarded from the masses, Sonny. The man that came out of Juan's room, it was... well, he was... Yes, he was... I'm too scared. I can't say his name out loud. What I wouldn't give to have Francisca's whip right now. Well, I guess I can tell you, since he was such a bad boy anyway. You saw my client? Are you sure about that? Yes, see? Really? Annoying brat. When I say I saw someone, I saw that person! Why do I get a sense of deja vu? Yes! Maybe to avoid a repeat of last year, I should delve into this a bit further. Hey, Miss Oldbag, what were they wearing? Please tell the court about the man's clothes in more detail. What a troublesome man you are! Really, as if something like that matters. It matters if they were wearing, Madon Guard's hakama. But it does. Now, what was it? Oh, yes! It was that thing! What thing? That gaudy thing he's always wearing! That racing jacket! Oh. Not the costume? He was wearing that at the detention center too. That thing's meant for nothing but seducing women out of their pantaloons. Men. Right. So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or relevant in any way? I think so, because didn't Matt on guard say he was already dressed in his costume? That he was ready to go? Of course it was important, Your Honor. Then, perhaps you would like to point out what part of that testimony was important. Don't you see it, Edgeworth? Your Honor, I request what the witness said about the jacket be appended to her testimony. I don't quite see where you're going with this, but all right. Witness, please. This is also suspicious because if the button really was in the Hakama, what is he doing in plainclothes? Well, I don't like to badmouth anyone without reason, but if I must... Are you sure the defendant was wearing a racing jacket? What do you think? It's not like I've seen him in anything other than that horrible thing. I'm sure he was wearing it. She's so sure of herself that it's to the point of self-absorption. She may not remember things, or be mistaken here and there, but I don't think she's lying. That's bad for us. Really bad. But that's how the human mind is. It also has the tendency to jump off topic. She's strayed into a few interesting side topics this time too, hasn't she? But that's what makes her a sweet old lady, right? That's because you're not the one who has to question her. Interesting. Should we have asked about his face then? Since we had 3 topics, we might as well ask about it, right? We can also save here. Yeah, since there were multiple options, let's see if we can ask about all of them. Oh, she's not letting us. Oh, interesting. Was it even that statement? Oh, that's... Okay, that's so weird. It won't let us go anymore. Yeah, that's weird. It won't let us press anymore. Okay, so I guess this really is it. So if he was wearing his racing jacket, then he couldn't have committed the murder because of the button. Miss Oldbag? What? Don't say my name for no reason. Do you know what this is? Ah! It's button number 2 on the Gem Ninja's costume! Now I know she's an obsessed fan. She identified it in a single glance. Give it here! Give it here! If you don't give it to me, I'll punish you with this! Wow. She really is a die-hard fan to want a button covered in blood. This button was discovered on Mr. On Guard's body during a full body search. See? See? This button proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it was that rascal on guard! It was caught up in the pleats of his nickel samurai hakama pants. See? See? And on guard is the nickel samurai! Witness? Now, it may just be me, and I do have an active imagination, but just now, didn't you say that the defendant, Matt on Guard, was wearing his usual racing jacket? It's gonna turn into an ASMR channel, all because of Old Bag! I'm so sorry. Sorry that you judge people based on what they wear. If I wore the trendiest dress, would you think that I was just the hottest hookup in town? Sevy's so heavy, I wish you had CDs and you want to dream a life for kids. And what are you saying? There is a documentary on curling and you want to take edgy poo to the what? Now, hold your tongue still there for just 1 second. So, what you saw, in actuality, was not Mr. On Guard, the man, but Mr. On Guard, the nickel samurai? But when you think about it, they're really one and the same anyway. Miss Oldbag, this is a very important point we're talking about. Edgy poo, do you think so too? Well, it might be something worth considering. Just say it's important and agree with me for a change. Oh, Edgeworth is definitely back. Witness, think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify. All right. If you insist. I should be the one sighing, not you. Witness testimony. Who I saw. Let me take a quick water break. On guard. On guard. Yes! Now I remember! The nickel samurai! That's right. It was the nickel samurai that I saw. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. He had to go to that post-ceremony stage show right after the crime, you know. So he must have worn that nickel samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan. I knew it. I knew you'd say he was inside that costume. What? Did you think there could have been someone else inside that costume? Don't be a bad little boy, thinking such rude things. But the possibility does exist. youngins today. I told you, there's no way it was anyone else. How do you know that? Because I said so, and what I say is the truth. At least she's just as delightful a witness as she was a year ago. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Thanks, Judge. Cross-examination. Ask about her memory here. Would you please get on with your testimony? What's your language, young man? What sort of tone is that to take with an elder? My youthfulness isn't what it used to be, so you should forgive me for everything. If you keep on barking at me like that, I'll start singing at the top of my lungs. What? I'm not singing. I don't even know how the tune goes. She's actually singing. Someone help my poor ears. Mr. Edgeworth, can you please do something about this racket? Witness, I'll give you a piece of gum later if you'll be good and stick to just the facts. Okay! You promise, right? Right. I'll be sending the bill for the chewing gum to your office at a later date. Remind me to send you a thank you note later, too, old Edgeworth, old chum. Be a little more careful with your testimony, please. Not too long ago, you said he was wearing his racing jacket. And now he's not? Not too long ago? Then, let me ask you this. When you were itty-bitty, what was your grand dream? What did you want to be when you grew up, whippersnapper? My dream, huh? Well, I wanted to be Judge Wagner, hero of the public's court. So what? See? And look at where you are now. You're not Judge Wagner, are you? Are you? Well, what I said earlier. Who puts any weight into things like that? The now is everything. I can't be held responsible for the past. Since when did the court become theatrics over testimonies? Since we had a circus in here? All that matters is that man was inside that costume. Isn't that enough? And why would that be? That way, no one could see his face, of course. But there's still no advantage for him that I can see. In fact, you would think that the costume would make him stand out all the more. You are such an annoying child, do you know that? You disagree with everything I say. Isn't that what you're always doing to me? I got it. Maybe it was more troublesome for him to change in and out of his costume. He had to go to that post-ceremony stage show right after the crime, you know. Was there anyone else Was there anyone else scheduled to appear at the post-ceremony show? Well, all the contestants were supposed to go on stage in a friendly gesture thing. And that included the Gemin Samurai, and that included the Gemin Ninja? Of course it included him! That's why On Guard came out of dear Juan's room. I didn't give it a second thought. I see. Well, anyway. So, let me ask you one last time. The person you saw, it really was the Nickel Samurai? As showy as ever. Haven't I been saying that from the very beginning? Can I throw in the towel yet? You don't need to think too hard on this one. Huh? There's a contradiction in our testimony, and it's sitting in plain sight. The question is what that contradiction means for us. Wait, the question is what that contradiction means for us. Well, I have to figure out what you're talking about first, but okay. Yeah, I have no clue what she's talking about. I mean, there is this whole thing. Not gonna lie, there's this whole thing. This is a weird statement for me, because, like, wouldn't he have gotten blood on him if he did stab post-mortem? Also, he was strangled just like Celeste Impacts. Well, she died by hanging, but close enough, you know? Also, Lotta was there. What do we bring up here? He had to go to the post-ceremony stage show right after. Now remind me, like, did Matt on Guard know he had to go to a show after? He did, right? He just didn't know about the whole press conference? Press conference. As the Nickel Samurai. I don't actually know what to press here. Or, well, we've pressed everything. What to present. I don't know what to present here. It would have been convenient for him to wear it, huh? It would have been. And he was, right? But she just said that he was wearing his jacket. Mia, what is this contradiction you were talking about? Oh, wait! He must have worn it when he was stabbing poor Juan. Wait, do we bring up the fact that he was strangled first? Strangled with a scarf and then stabbed with a knife. Do we bring this up? It's the only thing I have. Music didn't stop. I think we're wrong. Dang it. Dang it! Also, does he wear a scarf? No. But he does. Stabbing 401. I don't know. I also don't know when we throw that out. What does the costume look like? Are there gloves on that costume? There are gloves on that costume. Wait, so if he was wearing his costume, as she says here, he couldn't have left fingerprints. I mean, yeah, he might have eaten with it, but the fact that he wore the gloves to stab after eating, right? That would have scrubbed his prints, surely, right? Surely. Fingerprints? Please take a look at this. Yeah. So, it's a knife. Big deal. If you're trying to scare me with that, I'll have you know it won't work. No, that's not my intention at all. That's the knife that was used in the murder, correct? Your Honor, do you know why this piece of evidence is important to this case? You don't even have to ask. It's because the defendant's fingerprints are on it. And it's notably sticky. Is that what you're driving at? That is exactly what I'm driving at. What are we driving at? And whose car are we driving? Mr. On Guard was really in the nickel samurai costume at the... If Mr. On Guard was really in the nickel samurai costume at the time of the murder, then it's impossible for his fingerprints to have been left on this knife. Actually, he would have wiped all previous fingerprints off this knife. Wait. Dang it! All previous fingerprints on this knife right off. Oh, that's right. The nickel samurai wears gloves, doesn't he? He probably took his gloves off before he began the stabbing. And why would he do something like that? To leave his prints on the murder weapon? There's no way he would do something like that. However, there is one possibility. Then let's hear your possibility. It's very simple. The defendant went to the victim's room while in costume as the nickel samurai. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. He was probably just going to relax and talk with the victim about the stage show, which is why he took his gloves off. But the murder still did take place. It's well known that there was bad blood between the defendant and the victim. Yes, I have heard that before. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about Mr. Edgeworth's theory? So, let me get this straight. Edgeworth's theory goes like this. When the defendant went to the victim's room, he had no intention of killing him. Now, up to this point, are there any problems with his theory? I'm trying to recall if there was anything that On Guard told us. Because for sure he didn't tell us that he went to go visit his rival. And he didn't mention anything about like taking a nap, right? Like in the Steel Samurai case, like there was no napping. Was there? And it does line up with Oldbag's testimony so far of On guard going into the room all costumed up. Okay, I don't see any problems here. So let's keep going with it. I can't see any real problems with this theory. But if you let Edgeworth's theory stand, then we're one very large step closer to a guilty verdict. Look at the court record again and take another shot at it. Yeah, I just have to think about it. I just have to think about it one more time. Mr. Wright, please make your decision soon. Okay, I thought he was gonna continue with Edgeworth's theory and not stop at that one line. So, okay, we have no choice but to say there's a contradiction. Because it says up to this point. Specifically. Okay, there's a contradiction. We have no choice. This theory contradicts something in an earlier testimony. Does it? What are you babbling about? Now, for argument's sake, let's suppose Mr. On Guard was the killer. If that's the case, I think it's impossible for the killer to have gone to the victim's room without intent. Without intent. So, okay, we have several different things we can use for intent, right? We can use the fact that there's this article about his own manager seeing Karita or meeting with Karita outside of work hours, right? Love scandal. Yeah, we have this love scandal between Juan Karita and Miss Adrian Andrews. But the question is, would Matt On Guard be mad about this? Is this enough intent? Enough motive to go see him? So there's that. And then of course... there are these notes, which, again, I do not think we bring up yet. So actually, this may be the only piece of evidence we present. Naturally, you point out the one piece with the least value, but with such vigor. Enjoy your youth while you can. Humans don't live forever. Neither do lawyers. Oh. That was wrong? That was wrong? Okay. If he didn't have murder's intent from the very beginning, then that means there's a certain object that shouldn't be at the crime scene. The wine glass? Suppose he was the killer. I mean, the knife. He wouldn't leave his own fingerprints. This knife. This was used by Mr. On Guard at dinner. Yes, we did establish that. Which means that if my client was in fact the killer, then he brought this knife with him when he went to visit Mr. Karita. Sorry, I thought we were looking for a reason for him to go over there. Not incriminating evidence. I suppose. However, you just said it yourself. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. If that were true, then why would he bring a knife? He wouldn't, would he? Which means, Mr. Edgeworth, your theory was flawed from supposition 1. And one more thing. If the murderer was wearing the costume at the time of the murder, then there should be glove marks left on the glove. Oh, sorry, there should be glove marks left on the knife. Which means the defendant's fingerprints shouldn't be all over it like bees on a hive. And that brings me to my final point. Yeah, you put your foot down, Phoenix! This knife was planted by the real killer to hide their identity and mislead us. Order! Order, I say! Order in the court! Sorry, my voice cracked there. Was this knife really planted by the killer? Why would the murderer do such a thing? To hide the murder method. No. To frame Matt on no. Save. Save. Why are they giving me so many options today? Okay, let's just go through this real briefly. If we wanted to hide the murder method, right? You can't hide that during the autopsy. You find that out regardless. So it has to be to frame Matt on guard. They did say there was a ton of evidence, right? It's to frame my client, Matt on guard, of course. To frame? Aren't you forcing the interpretation just a little too hard on this one? But we just established that the witness saw the nickel samurai in costume. And if that were true, then there shouldn't be a single fingerprint on this knife. Witness! Looks like I've made your life a tiny bit more difficult, huh, Ichipu? Witness, did you or did you not really see the nickel samurai? Well, I guess at first I might have forgotten. But? Are you saying you mixed up Mr. On Guard with the nickel samurai? His character on TV? But I mean, I can't really do anything about that now. Look, I was waiting around in front of their doors because, well, I wasn't waiting around for the nickel samurai, that's for sure. She wasn't waiting for the nickel samurai? All right then, who were you waiting for? That's top secret to anyone outside of security. I have a feeling that you were waiting for Mr. Juan Corrida. Am I correct, witness? The way you think. You are so... Hello, good morning. My boys awake now? My boys are awake. There's gonna be trouble starting. I can smell it a mile away. The way you think. You're a sad amateur with a terrible case of nearsightedness. Amateur? Me? What am I an amateur of? So, Oldbag was waiting around in front of the victim's room. But it doesn't sound like she was waiting to catch a glimpse of Mr. Corrida. Maybe... Phoenix, maybe the old bag was waiting around for that person. Hmm? If it's who I think Mia's hinting at, it's certainly possible. Miss Oldbag? You were waiting for this person to come out of the victim's room, weren't you? Possibly Miss Andrews? Because of the gossip column? No? Who is this person? This is Adrian Andrews, Mr. On Guard's manager. But why would the defendant's manager be in the victim's room? It seems that this is the latest rumor in circulation, Your Honor. Oh, this is... Well, this is... Huh, I see. The judge seems to be really into the article, if it can be called such a thing. Then this manager with the initials AA? Are you saying it's Adrian Andrews? Without a doubt, the witness thought so as well. Looks like you found me out. Well, that's fine. I can throw away this whole sworn to confidentiality stuff then. Witness? What in the world are you... Watch out, Phoenix. I've got a bad feeling about this. A very bad feeling. I got some information. Some very secret information from a certain source. So that's why I was doing my own little investigation. In secret, of course. But what for? Oh, just for myself. Personal reasons and all that. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, how would you like to proceed from here? Yeah, my boys are awake. Let's get to witness testimony, and then I'm gonna go ahead and take a break. I really don't want to do this. However, I cannot simply let this point slide. I see. Very well then. Witness, please testify about this secret information. Get ready! This is gonna take the wind out of you, youngins! I'm sure we're all capable of handling this. Really, it's not like we're 10 years old. Witness testimony. Secret information. Should I have saved over there? Whatever. Oh, I can save here. Okay, yeah. Let's save. That on guard is one evil man. He thought he could ruin poor Juan by causing a huge scandal. So, to do that, he sent his own manager to get in close with Juan. I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action. Oh, and this is top secret, you got that? Nobody else but you and me know yet, okay? And the audience, the jury, the judge, Edgeworth. Let's not disregard everyone else in this courtroom. Oh, and Mia, right? Can't forget Mia. The defendant sent his manager? What a distasteful topic for this court. What? Nobody's above gossip. Oh, wait. What? No, that was the right inflection, right? What? Nobody's above gossip. And isn't there a saying? The truth is never pleasant. Never heard that one before. Mr. Edgeworth, what about this Adrian Andrews person? We have looked into this matter and found that the truth the article proposes is in fact baseless gossip. But should this be true, then this proves that the defendant did bear ill will towards the victim. So this means I have to smash this rumor once and for all. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Be careful. The old bag seems rather excited right now. That's right! On guard is nothing but your average foul-blooded youth! Well, as the old saying goes, you've gotta burn old bags with fire. What saying is that? Time to fire up the afterburners and hit the highway to the danger zone. I'm totally putting that song in, by the way, just FYI. Cross-examination. Secret information. We're pressing it all! You can't just say something like that without proof. That's just slander. But it's true! That woman was getting intimate with poor Juan. Look, it says so right here, doesn't it? Manager to the stars, Miss A. But the name of the magazine this came from is Gossipland. What? Are you saying that gossip is all just a pack of lies? What do you know? I suppose next you'll swear to me that the news is 100% truth. Honestly, Sonny, you can't discriminate between the news and gossip. Yes, discrimination is bad, Mr. Wright. Discriminate? When did I do anything like that? Anyway, On Guard will never get me to say touche. A scandal? What do you mean by that? You're a dim-witted one, aren't you? I can't believe you don't know what a scandal is. Honestly, what are they teaching kids in middle school these days? No, I wasn't asking what the word scandal means. Even I know that much. Well, that On Guard thought he could own a monopoly on popularity. You don't have any proof that Mr. On Guard did such a thing. You must be suffering from shock. The shock of hearing the truth. And now, since you're in so much shock, you can't do anything right. You're right. I can't do anything, but boy, do I wish I could do something about you. All right then, Sonny. Show me what you've got. Can you show me proof that On Guard didn't bear any ill will towards Juan? Let's decline for now. I don't have anything to offer. See? Just as I thought. And you were lecturing me about saying things without proof. You've just given me a free pass to say whatever I want, whenever I want, silly boy. Me and my big mouth. That's the way the cookie crumbles. For you, anyway. Oh, God. So, what do you mean by I took action? Like I already told you, I was lying in wait, close to the crime scene. Once that slimy woman came out of Juan's room, I was going to capture her and teach her a good lesson. Something you youngins need. You were gonna teach her a good lesson? Sorry, you were gonna teach her a good lesson? I was going to make her eat the damaging beams of my ray gun. Like this. No, stop. Well, it was too bad that woman didn't come through the door that night. If she was lying in wait, where was Lotta in all this? But because she was staking out as well. Wait. What? I'm a busy woman. Tea time with kids is over. Secret information that no one else knows yet. If that's true, then how do you know this secret information? Huh? Well, that's because I'm a pro. Yes, that's it. You have the camera. It's a secret. Even if you drilled a hole into my brain, you'll never find out. How in the world did that old bat get such a secret piece of information? Ooh, okay, press further or present evidence. Let's try pressing first. If you don't be a good girl and tell me where you got this secret information, you won't go home today. Hedgie Poo, what are you doing? Help me! What do I have to do with this? Just do this for me. You'll get your reward. I don't want your reward, but you don't leave me much of a choice. The witness could have gotten her information from anywhere. It's even possible that it was spontaneously made up inside the witness's head. And he lectures me on reckless blabbering? As long as we don't know where this information came from, it's quite a waste of time to focus on this line of questioning. Where did Oldbag get her inside information? There has to be something I can use to figure it out. Sounds like just another tidbit of gossip, doesn't it? But you can't just ignore it either. It makes your client look bad either way. Well, I don't think I heard anything really out of the ordinary just now. There has to be something we can catch her on. Yeah. And when I find it, I'm gonna press the heck out of it. No, Phoenix, we've already done that. It's time to present. So let's press again. And now I think we present. So no one else is supposed to know the secret information, correct? If that's true, then why do you know it, Miss Oldbag? Why are you looking at me like that? Stop it! Witness. I hate to say it, but this is how you came to acquire your secret info, isn't it? The investigative photographer, Lotta Hart. Oh, yes, I remember that mischievous girl. She reported that she had lost a certain note she had written to herself. She reported such a thing? On that piece of paper, she had written down some of her her impressions about the relationship between the victim and Miss Andrews. What? Outrageous ideas, you say? No. I said impressions. Then everything written on this piece of paper is completely meaningless? That's it. That's the note. No! You see, this is something completely different. This is my top secret list of groceries to buy. Then you're the one who took Miss Hart's note. I'm a huge fan of wands. That's why. That infamous buffy-haired whippersnapper. She's working with that evil on guard. She said so herself. On guard! I'm his sidekick. She was so happy, smiling like a silly duck. I was only checking what she had written. Ain't nobody believing this. Ain't nobody. Ain't no way. Edgy Poo, you believe me, don't you? I was only trying to help out, like the angel I am. It's only one little piece of paper. I've never taken anything else before. You really should come with a supply of cheese to match your vintage wine. Did Edward just... Did he pull a pun on her? Edgeworth? Well, it was only a piece of paper. I suppose we can overlook this. Just this once. It wasn't just a piece of paper though, Judge. It was also the camera. The piece of paper was in the camera. She looks like she really... Wait. She looks like she's really sorry. Should I forgive her? No! Pile on more pressure! RAT-TAT-TAT-TAT herself! RAT-TAT-TAT-TAT! RAT-TAT-TAT-TAT! If I let up on her now, she'll get away. What's on the camera, Lotta? I mean, sorry, not Lotta, Old Bag! Old Bag, what's on Lotta's camera? I have to find some way to inflict a deafening blow to the prosecution. Witness, you said that the only thing you stole was that note. Is this correct? Stole? Why don't you listen more carefully, you annoying brat? I saved this piece of paper from the terrible, lonely trash can. That's all. You're lying, damn it! Oh, and I can prove it. Phoenix? Oh my. Calm yourself, sir. Are you putting my credibility under scrutiny again? Miss Oldbag, I don't believe that the note is the only thing you stole that night. Miss Oldbag, that note was with a camera inside its case, wasn't it? A camera? Yesterday, Lotta Hart was raising a huge stink over her camera. She kept saying something like, my sweetie, $1,000, $1,000. My sweetie, $1,600 camera disappeared on me. Why? Witness! What is it, Gramps? If you have the note, then it's only logical that you have the camera too. Looks like you found me out again, Sonny. Is this the camera you're looking for? That's... What? Even though I look like this, I'm still a person, you know! I still eat meals like you. I fall in love and borrow things from people. I think your definition of borrow is a little off. I saw that woman's business card, and that's when I noticed. It said, Slime Bag Celebrity Photographer Extraordinaire. Well, when I saw that, I had to know what sort of picture she had taken. I'm a professional security guard. It's my business to know these things. Bailiff, check this camera's photos. Hurry! We must examine them at once. Did she delete one again? I'm gonna be so mad at her. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do we have here? There's only one photo that seems to be relevant to this case. Please, present it to the court. Here it is. That certainly is the Nickel Samurai. This is the Nickel Samurai. See? I told you. That's the guy I saw. This proves that the witness was not lying earlier about this matter. Lotta's photo added to the court record. Picture taken in the hallway right after the murder. What does this all mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photo by itself does not prove that the person in it is the defendant. However, in his own confession, Mr. On Guard clearly stated that at the time of the murder, he was still in his Nickel Samurai costume. If that's the case, then this Nickel Samurai is the defendant. How did it come to this? I think this brings us to the end. We've examined every piece of evidence thoroughly. Final comments, Mr. Wright? The court will consider them before we close. Do you agree that this photo is decisive evidence against your client? If this photo really is decisive, then we're done for. Then we have to object! But if I raise an objection here and blow it, then I would put Maya's life in jeopardy. I can't make a mistake here. There's only one road out of this mess. This photo that Lotta took. There's something strange with it. There's something strange with this photo. I knew this was coming, right? Your thoughts, Mr. Edgeworth? I think we can all agree there's nothing strange with this photo. There's no way for the defense to debunk this photo, even with a bunker buster. Debunk with a bunker buster? Is that what you're planning to do, Mr. Wright? Anyway, please look at the photo one more time. If you really believe you can honestly find something wrong with this photo, then you should only need one chance, correct? Well, I have to find something wrong with this photo. I can't let this chance go by. I need to save. Because if you recall from a previous trial, we are horrible with photos. Where in the heck did she take this photo from anyway? It's all out of focus. Why can't she take a good shot? Especially when it counts. Now then, let's hear your objection. What about this photo is strange? What about this photo? Well, it's coming from the angle of his bedroom. So this is most definitely Juan Corrida's room. We can also tell because there's teddy bears here. So what else is strange about it, though? Is it his pants? Is it because the costume is too long? This isn't the first time we've had to deal with a dragging costume. I would like to direct the court's attention to this one area, right here. What are you pointing to? His ankles? If you could see this person's ankles, that would be one thing. However, you can't. And what does that mean? The costume person in this photo could not have been Mr. On Guard. What is the meaning of this? Oh my god, we've got it. I wonder if you would care to elaborate. With actual facts, that is. Let's take a look at the Nickel Samurai's poster. Please pay particular attention to the area around the bottom of the hakama. His socks! You can see his socks! Exactly. However, in this photo, the Nickel Samurai is clearly holding his hakama up just to walk. There's only one explanation for this. The person inside this costume is clearly much shorter than the defendant. Too bad we don't have height stats for everyone. All right. I think I've turned things around for myself this time. That's curious. Huh? What is it? Edgeworth is unusually calm today. That's true. He's just letting the trial run itself. As if he's only along for the ride. Along for the ride? What do you mean by that? I can only guess that perhaps he doesn't feel under attack at all. He doesn't feel under attack? Then I haven't damaged his case at all. We've fallen into another trap! Mr. Edgeworth, where does this leave us? If the person in this photo is not Matt on guard, then everything the prosecution has tried to prove has become meaningless. I figured it would come to this. What? Right, I have something I want to ask you. I think you've proven that the person inside this costume is not Matt on guard. In that case, who is this a photo of? It has to be A, right? Who's the person wearing the Nickel Samurai costume? Don't stress out over this, Phoenix. It's very simple. What you should be focused on is Edgeworth's attitude. Don't you think? Yeah. Why is he so calm? Mr. Wright, let's hear your thoughts. Who is the person in this photograph? It was Adrian Andrews all along! And she tried to gaslight us into thinking it wasn't her! And we almost fell for it. How dare you? You are an intelligent woman! Adrian Andrews? If you want to know who that nickel samurai is, it's none other than this woman. And why would you say it must be Miss Andrews? What in the world points you to her? For starters, she's short, and she can freely move in and out of Mr. On Guard's room. Finally, she had dinner with Mr. On Guard that night. And how does that all add up? It means that it makes it very easy for her to get a certain item. A certain knife with Mr. On Guard's fingerprints all over it. The knife that was used as a murder weapon. Why don't you just say what it is, why don't you just say what it is you want, Wright? I have to do this now. This is my last chance to turn things around. The defense moves to indict Miss Adrian Andrews in the murder of Juan Carita. It was Miss Andrews who tried to frame the defendant for the crime. Order! 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 It looks like this trial has hit a most unexpected development. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. This court is issuing a subpoena for Miss Adrian Andrews. A verdict cannot be passed without first hearing her testimony. All right, this is it. This is kind of bad for us. Huh? What do you mean? Because Mr. DeKiller only gave us 1 day. If we can't find Adrian Andrews within the day, Maya's lost. If Adrian Andrews is summoned to court as a witness, it means that the trial will go on for another day. Yes! Phoenix! 1 more day. If I don't get a verdict today, then Maya... Phoenix! Now then, we shall set Miss Andrews' testimony for tomorrow. What am I supposed to do? The judge is about to adjourn the court. Raise an objection! Now then. Please, Your Honor, continue the trial. You must pass a verdict today. I can't do that. We cannot hear Miss Andrews' testimony if she's... I abhor wasting such valuable time. Edgeworth? Did he already subpoena her? Did he already lock her up? He has her in the wings! Your Honor, I request that you please continue with today's trial. But we cannot continue due to this unexpected development. Unexpected development? I think you underestimate me, Your Honor. And what do you mean by that? That Mr. Phoenix Wright would slave his way... Oh, sorry. That Mr. Phoenix Wright would slave his way to subpoenaing Miss Adrian Andrews is all happening according to plan. Even if Wright was a bit slow to catch on. What? He's got it all mapped out! What is the meaning of your statement, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Adrian Andrews is currently waiting in the prosecution's lobby. She is the next witness. Everything was planned out in advance by that man? Somehow, I knew there was no way Edgeworth would overlook Miss Andrews. He did give us her file. Looks like this battle is far from over. Exactly. Very well. We will call the next witness. However, before we proceed, we'll take a 10-minute recess. Please prepare your witness in that time, Mr. Edgeworth. The court will now take a 10-minute recess. Finally, a break!